All right, my name is Karuna Jain. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, a life coach, and energy healer. I do Reiki, pranic healing, and I have my own modalities of healing. And I'm here with Julie today.
Hey Karuna, and I'm Julie Cremu, and I am also a certified life coach and also do videography and graphic design.
Right. So today I really wanted to talk about a few things, which is what is our reality? How is it made? What is this journey of life? How can we attain perpetual bliss and happiness and rid ourselves of suffering? So all heavy questions actually, but we're going to make it as easy as possible. And it's not just about giving you all tools and techniques, but making you understand, have a foundation of what it is, right? Because if you don't know your current reality and how is it formed, then changing that reality becomes very difficult. And so let's get started. So we know that we are made of atoms, right? Our body is made of atoms. And if you look at the traditional model of an atom, it has the nucleus and it has the electrons and protons orbiting around it, right? So if you look at the matter part of the atom is the electrons, protons, and neutrons, which is about 1% of the atom. And 99% of the atom is space, right? So if we are made of atoms, then we are 1% matter and 99% space, right? And that's so difficult for the mind to comprehend. And the reason for that is we don't think of ourselves as non-matter because our five senses, we perceive only matter part of it, right? So we think we are just matter, we're just the physical body, but we are way more than the physical body, right? Because 99% of you is non-matter, and we place so much importance on matter on the body, but we don't really pay attention on the non-matter. So if you look at your current reality of who you are, then you are 99% non-matter and 1% matter. And that's something to reflect on because it's something not intuitively obvious, right? So if 99% of you is non-matter, then wouldn't it be more uh, important for you to know what this non-matter part of you is, right? Because if you're looking to understand the journey of life and how you want happiness and peace, then you need to understand the 99% of you versus just focusing on the 1% of you. So what is the 1%? Well, the 1% is easy for you to recognize because you can perceive it with your five senses. So it's all the things that you can perceive, your body, all the material possessions you have, all that you see around you, nature, right? It's pretty much everything that you can perceive with your sight, with your smell, hearing, and touch and taste, right? Those are the five senses. So with that, whatever you see is that 1% of you. But the 99% of you, which is beyond you, is something we can talk about right now. And I think that's the awareness I want to bring in this talk today, because that will help you to understand and answer these questions. So if you look at the atom and you look at, as we described it, with the orbiting electrons and protons, then the 99% space that is there, it's not just empty space, right? It has something in it, because to make the electrons and protons orbit around the nucleus, there has to be some intelligence, which makes it, because our electron protons are not crashing into each other, they are orbiting in a particular frequency, right? There is some intelligence in that space which is making it do that. Also, what you have is energy. To move anything around, you need energy. So that space has energy. So one way of looking at the space is it has intelligence and energy. And these are, I would call, divine intelligence, because no human is telling it what to do. There is an intelligence of its own, innate intelligence, which is making it do all these things. So your body also has got intelligence and is made of energy, right? So I think there's another concept to remember, that we are all energy beings and that we have an energy body also besides a physical body. Another way of looking at this 99% non-matter you is something that you intuitively probably already know, but you may not have put it into structure, and that is we all have emotions. So we have something called the emotional body, right? And it's the non-matter part of you, because you can't really see emotions, right? Some people may be showing it more than the others, but it is still part of the non-matter. I can't dissect a human body and see where sadness is lying or where happiness is lying, right? Because it's not part of the matter part of you. It cannot be perceived with your five senses. So you have the emotion. Then we all have thoughts, and we are aware that we have thoughts, right? And that is part of your mental body. So all the thoughts that you have accumulated in this lifetime, and if you believe in reincarnation, then all the thoughts that and emotions that you've accumulated across lifetimes is part of your emotional body and the mental body, right? And the third one is we all live a life by some values. So these values, I'm calling them your spiritual body. So even if you just look at 99% of space as these bodies, then we have one physical body which you perceive with your five senses, but then you have three other major bodies, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual, which is all part of your non-matter. All these bodies are interfacing with each other, interacting with each other. So if you want to attain perfect health, then you need to have all these bodies being healthy and fit. Right? So your emotions have to be balanced and positive, your thoughts have to be positive, you need to have strong values, then only your physical body can be really strong and healthy, right? So that's one way of looking. But the 19% non-matter part of you is not just the bodies, there is way more than that, right? So there's a lot of metaphysical stuff in there too. But to make it simple for this talk today, we can talk of one more aspect of the 19% space, and that is your soul and everything that is contained in your soul. And by soul, I mean the summation of all the experiences you have had in all of your lifetime is part of your soul. All of your family tree, your ancestral patterns are also part of your soul. Okay, so I think all of us understand that we are part of a family tree, right? And we have ancestors, and a lot of the baggage you may have collected from your ancestral patterns, which is affecting everybody in the family tree. So that is also part of the soul. So there's a lot of healing that happens in the ancestral part of you too, right? And the other aspect of your 99% of you is what I call the spirit. Okay, and you could call spirit as God, consciousness, chi, prana, ki, or any other name. But for our discussion today, I'm going to call it spirit. Okay, so this is divine part of you. This is where we have perpetual happiness, peace, bliss, harmony, right? So our goal as journey of life, one way to look at it is to attain perpetual happiness, peace, and to get rid of suffering and pain, right? That's our definition. So basically it's about us realizing ourselves as a soul, as a spirit, right? Because we all are spirit, but we don't have a knowing that we are spirit. And if we had the knowing that we are spirit, we would be in a state of perpetual bliss and happiness. And that's, I think, in a way, is the journey of life. And of course, it's on the way to the journey of life to come to this place of knowing or realizing your spirit self. You have certain purposes for which you came. But if you're in a state of happiness and peace, then you can fulfill your purpose of life much more easily. You're more aware of it and you can fulfill your purpose much more easily, right? But it's a process of knowing yourself, and it's not like an on-off switch. So there is work involved in you having the self-realization that you are spirit. So if you look now just at the way we've drawn this thing, we have the physical body, which you perceive with the five senses. You have an emotional body, you have a mental body, which are your thoughts, you have a spiritual body, which are your values, then you have a soul part of you, which is your reincarnation and all the stuff and the ancestral stuff, and then you have the spirit part of you, which is your divine intelligence, right? So that is 99% of you. So all of this 99% of you plus 1% of you that you see is the real you, right? And most of us think of ourselves only as the body, and we think that is who you are. But now I'm just trying to expand and let you know that that's just a small part of you, what you see with your five senses. The real you is way bigger than that. And unless you learn to know the real you, the 99% of you is definitely stronger than the 1% of you, right? So 99% of you is what is creating or manifesting your 1% of you. So if you want to change anything in your physical reality, you can't just do it with the 1% of you. You have to take your 99% of you into account and help that to create the 1% of you. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think what really stood out to me was that it's a whole journey of life and it's a whole process, and that you need the 99% plus the 1% to really kind of equal to you. And then that combining everything makes you realize that there's a lot more than just to yourself.
Yeah, and right. So at some level of our consciousness, we understand that. We never kind of put it together to see, right? And we spend so much time and effort our time in the day, just taking care of the 1% of us. But that 1% is getting created through the 99%. So wouldn't it be smarter if you looked at the 99% of you and said, hey, that's the one creating me, so what do I need to do there?
Yeah, so that was my next question of how do you begin to start taking care of the 99%?
Right, and that's such a good question, right? Because it's how do you take care of your emotions? How do you take care of your thoughts, right? So these things, there are so much tools and techniques available because luckily we are at an age where there is so much holistic knowledge and healing available to us that we can actually start getting such very sophisticated tools and techniques to work with our emotional mental bodies, right? To realize yourself as spirit, to attain perpetual happiness and peace, you first have to clean up your emotional mental bodies, and you have to make your values strong too, right? Because until those bodies are cluttered and carrying a lot of baggage, it's almost like each body is like a glass that you wear on your eyes, right? So if the color of the glass is dark red, then everything around you is going to look as dark red. So you can't see the true reality because your colored glasses are stopping you from seeing the true reality, from seeing the reality. Therefore, yes, there are tools and techniques, and I don't want to get into that in this talk today because we can do some separate videos. Each body is so big, right? Even the physical body is so complicated that science is still learning more and more about it. So, similarly, your energetic bodies are also very beautifully organized, but they are very complex. And they do not follow the same rules as your physical body do, right? So you cannot rationalize your emotions, for example, right? But in terms of physical health, you can have a rational approach and say, if I eat healthy and if I exercise, then I'm likely to have a better physical health, right? But in the terms of emotions, you really can't rationalize and say, I'm going to love broccoli from tomorrow. If you don't love broccoli, you don't love broccoli. You can rationalize, I'm going to love this person tomorrow, because love is not something you rationalize, right? So most of your emotions you cannot rationalize. You cannot use rational approaches to clearing your emotions. You cannot tell somebody to be, hey, you got to be positive from today. It doesn't work, right? Because positive is an emotion, and you need to know how to make yourself more positive by using different tools and techniques. So yeah, that's a good question, and those are the things which you can work on, because I think you've done a lot of work yourself on your emotional mental bodies, right?
Yeah.
So you can see that there are so many ways in which you can life transforms as you start learning to take care of them.
Yeah.
Right. So these bodies, emotional, mental body, as we thought about, do not contain just emotions and thoughts of this lifetime. And of course, this makes an assumption that you are believing in reincarnation, that you have emotions and thoughts coming from many, many lifetimes. So each of us have so much clearing to do, because so far in our life we've been stuffing everything under the rug, right? Any emotional stuff happens, we just think time will heal and we keep stuffing things in that body, right? But every emotional experience that you had is there in your body, right? I'm a hypnotherapist, and I know I can take people back into their past, into their regress and into their past, and bring out so much emotional stuff. So you think with their conscious mind that I don't feel anything of what happened to me when I was 13 years old or 10 years old, but everything is recorded and stored, and it's affecting you.
In your strong computer, like you like to call it.
Yeah, you have the strongest supercomputer between your ears, right? And unless you learn how to use that more effectively, you're going to be at the mercy of everybody else around you programming your computer, right? Yeah, so the important thing I wanted you to take away from you is that the 99% of you is so important. So if you want to achieve anything in your material world, if you want to achieve, say, greater abundance, or you want to achieve better health, then you have to realize that your health is not just your physical body. Your health will be, the physical body will be determined by your health of your emotional body, your thoughts, mental body, and the values by which you live your life, right? So it's so important to start taking care of those bodies if you want to achieve proper physical health. That's why I think with allopathy, with medicines and all that, so many of the diseases, you cannot come down to the root cause of it, because the root cause doesn't lie in the physical body, it lies in your emotional mental body, right? So you can be stuck with chronic medication for the rest of your life, but the chronic medication is not really clearing the emotional mental body, right? It's only suppressing the symptoms so you don't feel it, but everything is still resonating in those bodies. So unless you start taking care of those other bodies, you can't really get rid of this chronic medication that you are taking, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people with anxiety, depression, pain, they have started opening their eyes and started doing holistic healing now, because they're realizing that there's an underlying cause to their pain, to their anxiety, which needs to be taken care of. And of course, life coaching is very important because the journey of life is about growing wiser, right? Growing in wisdom too, right? It's not just about having experiencing and cleaning up your emotional stuff. You need to learn from your experiences because every experience is there for a reason, right? So that's why the life coaching becomes such an important part of this journey of life is how do I learn from what happened to me? So I can clean up your emotions as a therapist. I can say, okay, I can help you clean up your emotional body and release some of the emotions, and I can clean up your thought body. But I like to put a lot of emphasis on teaching, right? Because it's so important that I clean it up, but if you don't know how to keep it clean, you're going to mess it up again, right? So it's just like keeping your house clean. You can get a cleaner to come and clean your house, but if you don't learn simple cleaning on your own, then your house will get messed up pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I think in this journey, you really can get the cleaner to come clean up a little bit, but the journey is you have to learn, right? So just like you don't develop muscles overnight when you're taking care of your physical body, you will have to put in some self-effort and self-discipline to take care of your emotions and thoughts too. But for me, it's like a no-brainer that you have to take care of your emotions, thought. Those times when you're putting everything under the rug is gone now, because as you can see, there is so much more stress and anxiety in the world, right? Because people have been stuffing too much into their emotional mental body, right? So I think that is one of the things that if you want to earn greater abundance in your life, say for example, abundance of wealth, then you have to take care of your emotions, thought, because if your emotions and thoughts are having thoughts of lack in your life and you have generating thoughts of lack, then with those thoughts the mental body is weak and that body cannot help you manifest the physical wealth, right? So we have E is equal to mc square, the theory of relativity by Einstein. So energy and matter, right, is connected. So energy will be your thoughts and emotions, and you can convert that into matter by dreaming. So if you can dream it, you can achieve it, right? See, at some level of consciousness we already understand that we have something other than the physical body, right? We also have things like a positive patient recovers faster than a negative patient. So what does positivity mean? It's your right emotions and thoughts, right? So again, we understand at some level that we need to have positive emotion and thought if we want to recover faster. So somewhere at some level of consciousness that your physical health is dependent on other factors, and that's the non-matter part of you, the 99% of you, right? So I like that quote that Nikola Tesla made, which is, the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence.
Wow.
We spend billions of dollars on understanding matter, right? What if we did that to understand non-matter part of you? That's what is forming your reality. That's what is telling you what your reality is. So if you want to enjoy life, then you first and foremost you need good health, right? So you need to take care of your 99% of you to enjoy good health, because without health, even if you earn a lot of money, you can't really enjoy that wealth.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to manifest wealth also, you want to manifest peace, harmony, joy, love, then peace, happiness, harmony are all part of emotions and thoughts that create that. So you can do it with material things. You can keep buying more and more things, but it's not going to give you perpetual happiness. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at your own life and see all the purchases you've made in your life. How much happiness did you get out of that? Yeah, when you bought a new dress, you felt happy about it and wore it happily. But did it last? That is the important thing. If you bought a new car or whatever material things you bought, you felt happy at that moment of time, but did it last? Because it's only the 1%, and it's not going to make you perpetually happy, right? But if your emotional body is very strong and your mental body is very strong, in which case you're very positive, then even if you see a butterfly, you feel great happiness. You really don't need a expensive something, right? Because so much of the happiness you can gain just from simple things. You don't really need a lot of things, and there is nothing to say that you shouldn't have abundance. I think we are in the world of material, and we need to enjoy all the abundance the material world can create. But the important thing is you shouldn't get attached to it, right? You enjoy it, but don't get attached, because when you get attached, then all the emotional stuff starts, because then there's the pain of losing it and the pain of not having it, somebody else taking it away. So that all the turmoil starts when you get attached to your wealth, when you get attached to the mug, which is your favorite mug, and what if somebody breaks it? Right? So yeah, enjoy the world of material and have fun with it, and enjoy as much abundance as you want. But you can't really enjoy too much unless your other bodies are strong. right? So I just want to bring in awareness that you need to take care of your other bodies if you really want to enjoy this journey of life. If you really want to have fun in this journey of life, then you can't just keep stuffing things inside. And it's time for you to become aware that those bodies require as much effort as your physical body does. Like you take a bath, you go to exercise, you eat healthy, but what do you do for your emotional body? What do you do for your thoughts? How strong are your values? Right? People think they can lie and cheat and it doesn't affect them, but it does. Because the divine part of you, the spirit part of you knows when you're lying. Right? Because that's the pure part of you. That's the one we want to reach. And that part always knows when you're doing something wrong. So it doesn't matter if others realize it or not that you've done something wrong. Your own subconscious, the divine part of you knows that you did something wrong. It's going to bother you a little bit because inside of you there is going to be a vibration which is not the vibration which is the true you. Right?
Yeah.
So if you really want to know the true self, then you have to learn to take care of these bodies so you can come closer to knowing your true self, which is your spirit form, which is your divine aspect. But that's why meditation, a lot of people have tough time doing meditation because so many thoughts and emotions come on when you're trying to meditate. It's because your emotional body and mental body are so in turmoil. You first have to take care of them with other techniques. Then when they are more calmer and quieter, then you can meditate much more easily. So I think there's a foundation. There's a foundation which is your emotional mental body being strong, on which you can build other things in your life. But that foundation has to be there. You have to have good emotions. You have to have good values in which you live your life. Right? I like this quote by Paramahamsa Yogananda. It says, "You do not own anything in this world. You're given the use of things by spirit." So here we are trying to own a lot of things. We're trying to buy more and more material things. We're trying to own more and more houses and cars. But really, if spirit decides you don't need it, then it's going to be destroyed or taken away from you. So ultimately, you are not owning anything. You are just getting the use of things by spirit. And I think that's something to think about because that's something that really resonates with me.
I think it helps remove the attachment as well when you know that it's not the end of the world if something breaks, and if it doesn't belong to you really, then you can let go of being so attached to something.
True. And I think one of the ways of judging what is really important in life is knowing that when you leave this world, what are you taking with you? Because that's the only important thing, right? Because that's the one you're going to take with you. The rest you're going to leave behind. So everything material that you have, even a cent, you can take with you. Right? So that means, are they really important? But the non-matter part of you are going to take with you because that's the one that's going to determine your next reincarnation. And the next one, till you reach the realization that you're a spirit. You will continue the cycle of death and rebirth. It will keep going on. So I think that is another way in which to look at it. If you lose something and it's material, then do you have to go through that much pain and suffering? Was it really, really that important? Right?
Yeah.
And I think that is what you just mentioned, right? It's giving the detachment from things. Enjoy things, but don't get too attached to them. And that way you can go through this journey of life much easier. But then detachment, again, is not something that happens overnight. It's clearing up a lot of underlying beliefs that you've created around life and around how reality is. So if you want to change your reality, you need to first understand how your reality is created. So it is created from the non-matter part of you. Right? Your thoughts are creating your reality. Right? So if your thoughts are creating lack in your life, or thinking of lack, or thinking I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, then that's what you're manifesting. Right? So you have to go there and change your mental body, change the underlying belief systems, which is creating all these thoughts in you. Right? Because you are divine and you are beautiful by nature. It's just that we don't realize it. So it's just about self-realization of who you truly are. And it's something we all struggle with. So that's part of the human journey, right? So, yeah. But I think the basic part is for me, which I wanted to bring in this foundational video, was to just make you aware that you are more than your physical body. And that's only 1% of your reality. And when you die, it's not that you immediately get enlightenment on death, right? Whatever level of consciousness you were when you left the body is the same level of consciousness you will be in the non-spirit world also, in the spirit world, right? Because your level of consciousness is not going to change just because you entered another realm. You may have more awareness of things, but you still have to work through all your emotional baggage. So you have to come back again and work through all the emotional and mental baggage you've collected. So why wait? why not start the journey now and start doing it? Because who wants to go through the same issues and problems over and over again in different lifetimes, right?
Yeah. And I would say even in the same lifetime of like truly understanding and gaining the perspective that you need on certain situations so that next time similar situations happen to you, you have better tools to kind of move forward as well.
Exactly. And that denotes your learning, right? If you have handled the same situation differently next time, it shows that you've learned and grown from it, right? And therefore, life coaching and improving your wisdom becomes so important, right? So that you don't persistently keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But I think as human beings, we love suffering. Right? Don't we? We wait till we are suffering too much and then we start looking for solutions. But if you're suffering a little bit, we are like, okay, we can live with the suffering. It's okay. And I'm the same, okay? I've become better with time that, yeah, I have had my fair share of enjoying the game of suffering.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that we have to get over is if you really want to achieve something in your life and if you want to change your reality, then there is no shortcut. You have to put in effort. Without self-effort, you really can't achieve anything, right? Even as a therapist, I can tell you, yeah, I can help cleanse a lot of your stuff lying with you, but the main bonus is what have you learned from your experiences, so that when it happens next time, you don't come running to me, but you've learned something and you can say, yeah, Karuna taught me that, or Julie taught me that, and I can take that and apply it in the next time it happens.
Yeah.
Then you've learned and grown.
Yeah.
Right? And that is the important thing. You have to realize that without taking care of your non-matter you're never going to find perpetual happiness and peace. You're never going to be rid of suffering and pain. And medications are not going to help you rid of pain either, because the pain is something which is part of your non-matter part of you. And yes, you need discipline to take care of just like you need discipline to take care of your physical body, right? So if you need to go exercise, you have to go find the will to exercise, right? So you have to put in effort and put in some time there. The same thing with emotional and mental stuff. You learn techniques and tools, but then you have to apply it, and you have to be diligent about applying those tools and techniques to taking care of it. And I think we all have noticed that in our life, right? I've been on this journey and I've been working on myself pretty regularly to clean my emotional mental body. And I've been doing it for more than a decade now. But there's still so much to clean that still things come out.
It's a never-ending process and journey.
But the thing is, you can't climb a mountain by looking down from it, right? You have to take step by step to go up it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you stand at the down and say, oh my God, I have to reach the top of this mountain, and then you never start the climb because you're just scared of going all the way up. But if you just focus on taking one step at a time, you will land up there. And why wait for the next lifetime and go over it all over again and then do it? Why not start over here, right? And there are so much available right now. We are at that age of consciousness where we are growing and we are becoming more and more highly conscious beings. So we have so much more knowledge about holistic health now and taking care of the non-matter part of you. And so there is really no excuse not to do it. To me, it's a no-brainer. You want to have a happier life, you have to take care of your non-matter part of you, right? It doesn't matter how many vacations you go on, you will never find perpetual happiness even if you have not taken care of your non-matter part of you. You'll enjoy the vacation. When you come back, all that relaxation and enjoyment dissipates again, right? So instead of spending so much time and effort in the material world, can you spend some time and effort in the non-matter part of you and work on it, right? And give it enough importance. So I'm hoping that with this understanding of the non-matter part of you, you will realize the importance of taking care of that part of you, right? Instead of just stuffing things underneath, why not learn something, and why not take something, why not leave this earth with a better energy body, better 99% of you, right? You come with one energy body and you leave with an energy body. So everything in between is just experiences you're having to help you clean your energy body more. So what is more important? Is it the material stuff you're collecting, or is it the non-matter part of you? Right?
Yeah, a lot to think about, but it gives endless possibilities of what you actually can control at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I hope that gives everybody a little bit understanding and know what your true wealth is. Your true wealth is not all the material things you accumulate. Your true wealth is what you take with you when you leave this earth. And that's what you need to focus your attention on, accumulating and collecting. There's a reason why, even if you think of Buddha and why he gave up all the material happiness he was having, he was a prince, and then went on this inner journey for enlightenment, because he realized that material things do not give you complete happiness. It's not to say that you shouldn't enjoy them. I think you should enjoy every material thing that you have, but you can enjoy it only when your non-material part of you is clean and nice, right? And that's why the inner journey is required, so that you have that perspective where I say, if my emotions are always happy, I'm a happy, positive person, then it doesn't matter what you give me, I'm going to be happy, because a simple meal will make me happy, right? So I don't really need a lot more, but if I get a lot more, a more bigger meal, I'm going to be happy with that too, right? So my happiness is not linked to just what the material thing is, because my happiness comes from my emotional and mental body, and therefore I'm happy with whatever material circumstances happen in my life.
Yeah.
So I think that was, the foundation. If you can understand that you are more than matter, that you are also, most of you is non-matter, and if you can start learning to take care of your non-matter part of you, I think you will achieve a lot more in your life. Right? Your journey of life is basically to take care of the non-matter part of you and then fulfill whatever purpose you came here to do. So I hope I answered the 4 questions we started with. I think it gave a little bit understanding of all these questions, and I think once you're interested in it and you start putting energy into understanding these different aspects of you, then you will automatically get access to more information. I think that's how the universe works. Where you focus is where your energy goes. So if your energy is focusing on learning more about the emotional body, mental body, you will be given a lot of data. It's just like the universe sends you teachers, or sends you reading material, or sends you something, some way the universe comes back and tells you, okay, you've started your journey, let me help you out here.
Yeah, I would say that, I think for me, I've only really started understanding this concept since probably 4 months or so. But yeah, it's exponential of like when you start your journey, how much more you're gaining just throughout the whole process is really exponential. And I love that what you were explaining with, when you start manifesting it, it just like starts becoming abundant in your life. So that's really amazing.
I think you made great progress with yourself in the 4 months. This is amazing. But that's also because it shows that you put in the commitment. I think that is what is needed. What people lack is you have put in the dedication and commitment to learn more. And that's why your progress has been so rapid and fast. So yeah, I think that's where we should end today's video, and hopefully we'll make more videos where we'll go into a little more depth about each of these bodies and what other tools and techniques we can use to keep your emotional body clean, mental body clean, right? And we will talk a little bit more about the other non-matter part of you besides these bodies in some of the videos. All right, thank you all for listening to us, and if you have any questions, feel free to send us the questions, and we will get back to you.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, Julie.